holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. Here we go. We have come together as a family. Yes, we are. We have come here as we are. Ooh, yeah. We have come with arms wide open. We have gathered here in love. Ah, Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. In this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Sing it with me. Spirit. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. We sing in celebration. We sing with words of prayer. We sing with words of prayer. We sing with words of prayer. We declare our life as sacred. We declare that peace is here. Sorry. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. In this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. In this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. Good morning, Parker CSL. It's a good morning. Are we on? We are, and it is a good morning. I have recently discovered Carrie Newcomer, a singer-songwriter, and if you know her, you'll know how wonderful she is, and if you don't, I encourage you to look her up, but she has a song called A Gathering of Spirits, and the chorus says, a gathering of spirits, a festival of friends, will take on where we left off when we all meet again. And that song reminds me so much of CSL Parker. So I would like to welcome you to our gathering of spirits and our festival of friends. We have visitors here, I know, from out of state, and we give them a special welcome. And for all of our regular people, it's so wonderful to have this time with you. We have at CSL Parker a lot of fun stuff coming up and a lot of wonderful opportunities to give back as well. The Parker Task Force that we partner with a lot is experiencing a food shortage and food demand at the same time. And so we are doing Christmas in July with them. So for the next this Sunday and 2 more Sundays, you'll see my husband Dave's truck parked out front like it was this morning. And you can bring anything. There'll be a list on the education table of things that they specifically request. And they also are not adverse to accepting checks and money. So, and then sometimes they can get better deals than we do on the supplies that are needed. So let's help feed those who are needing a little help right now, our neighbors. Another fun thing that's coming up, not until July of next year, but it's time to get ready. For those of you who have been dreaming of going on an Alaska cruise, you have the opportunity to start thinking about that and planning for that. Anna Cohen has organized, put together a special pricing for us, and for, I think it's $500, you can hold the room for a cabin, per cabin. And so check with her after the service to get more information on that. And I think it's also on the website too. You can check out the website. And there's going to be a lot of, I think, soccer games, kids' outdoor activities that we experience every summer here. And so we need some volunteers. And I'm going to ask Bob to come up and tell us what exactly he needs.
I brought props. So starting July 13th and going through October, mid-October sometime, I don't have the exact date right now. At any rate, we're going to need some help on parking each week because the little athletes are going to be out there playing, and their parents are, for some reason, think they have to join them, so they bring them here in cars. And they like to park the cars close to where they're going in, which is also close to where we come in. So we've been authorized by the Douglas County School District to put up these signs on Sundays starting July 13th, which is next week, and to also put out orange cones to kind of block off the places where they can sneak in. Now, it's not really too difficult because I don't chastise anybody for parking in our section. I let them go. They're with their kids. I'm not going to embarrass anybody, nor should you when you volunteer and sign up for 1 week of service out in the parking lot. And it's really cool because people always show up and talk to me, talk to Joe a lot, and sometimes we just stand there together and talk, and we've never had to turn anyone away. They see the signs and they just keep going around, okay? So the sign-up sheet will be back there next to that church parking sign, and if you would sign up, please, here's the sheet. And oh, by the way, if you want, you get to wear this cool vest. Okay? Thank y'all.
Thank you, Bob. I'll have to check my closet and see if I have anything that coordinates with that. That'll go with everything. It's true. It will. So we have a couple of fun save the dates coming up. The first one is the annual picnic, which is Sunday, October 17th. And no? August? What did I say, October? Well, I guess I'll be there by myself. August 17th, and it's right after the service. It'll be at the Creekside Rec Center, where we've had it before, a beautiful facility. Inside and outside eating if weather permits. And CSL Parker is going to have fried chicken, coleslaw, lemonade, and water. And so we get to bring anything we want to go with that. Being somebody who doesn't eat fried chicken, I'll probably have something for people who don't particularly like meat. And because I can't eat gluten, we'll probably have something that's gluten-free too. So no matter what you want to eat or don't want to eat, there'll be something there for you. So please come. And on September 12th, there is a volunteer appreciation dinner. It's a Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. And this is at the Parker Task Force. For those of us who haven't had a chance to go see it, we'll get to do that. And it's a pretty cool place and facility. And since we partner with them so much, it's really nice to be able to do that. Although this dinner is to honor the volunteers at CSL Parker who make everything we do possible, who are just amazing volunteers, everybody is welcome. We want everybody here because you all bring something to this and also to honor the volunteers. So it is not just for volunteers, but don't let that keep you from volunteering. And we have Janice DeBaca did our beautiful festive 4th of July altar table. And I would like to acknowledge, too, our practitioners who are wearing the white stoles, who are available after service, or you can talk with them and make arrangements to meet with them at any time. And I know I don't take advantage of that as much as I should, and I'm going to change that. And I think we all should. I think our center will be so much healthier and happier and centered if we do that. But they will be here afterwards. So whatever it is on your mind, if you have a dream that you want to have come true, or you have a challenge that you want to find a way through, then make sure and talk with one of them. Sharon Jones is here as one of our practitioners. And at this time, our service transfers from taking care of business to the spiritual side.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's take a moment just for invocation, time to just center ourselves, take a deep breath, feel the spirit within us and around us that surrounds us. Just feel that energy and know that each and every one of us is filled with that energy, and we just share it with everyone around us. And we keep it positive, we keep it with love and acceptance and that unconditional love that we feel, we give. So we know that today is a blessed day, and we know that we are all blessings, each and every one of us. So with this knowledge and so much more, we are so blessed and so grateful as we say together, and so it is. Okay, I have a reading today from Living the Science of Mind from Ernest Holmes, and it's God's will. God's will most certainly is toward abundance. If we enjoy life, God is that much more completely expressed. The world is, to that extent, a happier place in which to live. There is no God who tries men's souls or beats them over the head with a cosmic club, seeing how much they can stand. There is no sin but a mistake, no punishment but a consequence. By the same token, virtue is its own reward. If some sincere person says to you, then if all this is true, I can do exactly as I please, since God has no will for me. Explain to him again that God's will and God's nature are one. And one part of God's nature is the immutable law of cause and effect. Every man must reap as he sows.
So I invite you to take a moment, settle in right where you are. Feel your feet against the floor. Take a conscious breath. Bring your full attention and awareness into this now moment. Feel the chair supporting you. Feel Mother Earth rising to meet you. Feel the energy in the space, one with each other, coming together in love and light and support for each other. Knowing that we are here now and we are that life of spirit having its life in and through and as each of us. In its beautiful, wonderful, unique expressions. Knowing we are one, and yet knowing we are diverse. We are individuals. We hold that truth, a spirit expressing in and through and as each of us. Living itself in its fullness as we open ourselves to allow it to be the very presence of that light, that love, that spirit that we know we are. And so we come together in love, we come together in light, knowing our truth, remembering that truth, shining that light out into the world, touching all of those who might be experiencing loss, imbalance, grief. We hold especially those who are experiencing that loss in Texas as the floods have just washed through. Loss of life, loss of property. And we know that's not the only place in the world where people are experiencing that loss. And so we hold that in our hearts. And we send that love out to touch hearts and lives. Knowing that it does make a difference. Knowing that consciousness is one. And as we claim it, as we allow it, as we feel it, as we radiate it, we know, we trust that lives are touched and healed. And so I invite you to breathe into that awareness, breathe into your own heart, breathe into that energy of light and love as you radiate that out. Just imagine, bring into your heart, bring into your mind any situation, any person, any part of the world that calls you. As we go into a short time of silence, just be in that presence. Be the presence of light and love, wherever you're called. And so take a deep breath, a conscious breath, releasing those that you have held in your heart, knowing that love is the healing power, the harmonizing power, the only true energy of the divine, God, source, life itself. We claim it. We know it is true. A spirit in us, spirit in them, spirit in all, and we are one. And we are so grateful for that awareness. So let us come together as we, if you know the song, sing it along with Cheryl and claim it today as our truth and our prayer and our affirmation.
Spirit
Take a deep breath, breathing that into your awareness, breathing it all the way down through the bottom of your feet, and we ground it together as we affirm, and so it is. So this morning I want to invite Carolyn back up. A couple of, I guess last month we started something different. We're inviting those of you who would like to share about your experiences with science of mind, religious science, Centers for Spiritual Living here at CSO Parker, to share your experience, to share how meaningful it is in your life. And so Carolyn is going to share this morning. And we have someone next week, but the following week no one has signed up. I forgot the sign-up sheet, so if you're interested in doing that, please let me know.
We're still on. So hello again. I picked up the sign-up sheet last week to give it to Reverend David to make sure he didn't forget it as he walked out, and I noticed there was nobody that had signed up for today, and I'm like, oh, I can do that. And then someone who was scheduled to do announcements couldn't do it. And so I get to talk a lot today, but not too much. So I just want to share, I really loved Sharon's reading this morning because it reminded me of the beginning of my journey here. I grew up with that God that was vengeful. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. And God's watching you. You better be good. And I grew up, unless we were out of town, we were at church and Sunday school. Every week. Fortunately, it was a country church. They didn't do Sunday night and Wednesday night too, so we got away with Sunday morning. And I love the songs. I love to sing. I love the songs. I like being with my friends. Some of the stories I liked and got into, that was kind of fun. But man, when they started talking about hell, and that if you weren't a Christian, you were going to hell. And this was a fairly progressive church compared to some I got into later, that pretty much if you were Protestant, you got to go to heaven, not Catholics. I had Catholic friends. And they were really nice. And I thought, that makes no sense. That's ridiculous. What kind of a God would send somebody to a place of eternal damnation because they had the wrong flavor of religion? Or for any reason, really? I thought, and what kind of God would make such a hell to begin with? Why would anybody not have a chance to do something different? To learn from their mistakes and go on. And I was really little at that time, and that was bothering me. But, you're a little kid, you go on, and I continued with this doctrinization, but I still could not understand this thing about hell. And if it was true, why weren't we out there making sure everybody was not going there? Why were people going on with their daily lives and not spending all of their time making sure nobody's going to hell? And so then I thought, well, what kind of a person would worship that kind of a God? Now, in spite of all of that, I knew even as a little girl, had a good relationship with God. Maybe not that God, but there was a God that I could feel the presence of and that I knew. And I never knew Jesus to do anything bad. He was always kind and good, and He was even nice to women, which was really unusual for religion. And so in spite of my disagreements with a lot of the doctrine, I did have a relationship with God. So fast forward to my first marriage, which was partly because my brother was telling me that it was about time for Armageddon, for the end of the world. And I was a teenage girl, late teenage girl, who wanted to be married and have children. So I better get busy because the end of the world's coming, and if I'm going to do that, I got to hurry. So I did. I got married. It was the wrong thing to do. And my mother and a Baptist preacher talked me out of getting out of that marriage a year into it. And so 10 years and 2 children later, and I had fasted and prayed and done so many things trying to support my husband, bring him to an acceptable level. And, somebody said, Carolyn, God gave you your husband. I said, and I've been trying to give him back. He doesn't want him either. So finally I did, though. Finally I did come to that decision, and I had moved from Estes Park, Colorado, where we had lived, and back to Missouri, where my parents were. And my friends from the Baptist church in Estes Park, where I'd gone to, were calling me, just giving me so much grief and questioning my choice of getting divorced. And I was working at a mail facility in the evenings and get home around midnight, and I went running. And that was my way to kind of cope. And I was running, and I stopped, and in the middle of this road, in the middle of the country out, and I said, all right, God, front and center. I said, I'm not leaving this spot until I hear directly from you. I have a sign from you that it's okay for me to get divorced, that this is the right thing to do. And as soon as I said those words, a shooting star shot across the sky. Very unusual in Missouri. And I just felt this peace just settle down through me in goosebumps. And I'm like, okay. So I went on, and I was on the right path, I thought. And boy, the accusations and the criticism and everything just came even harder. And so I did it again. I said, all right, if he did it once, and if this is real, he'll do it again. Now I'd say she. But sure enough, another shooting star. And I said, okay, enough. And I never questioned that choice again. But what I did question was, I had been taught that divorce was wrong. It was sinful. I was supposed to stay with this man no matter what. And that was the teaching. In every church I'd been through all kinds to several different types of churches, and they all taught me that. And I'm like, well, God's saying it's okay. So what they're telling me isn't true. And if that's not true, what else isn't true? And I believed that God loved me. And the Bible said that we have need of no other teacher than the Holy Spirit. So I'm like, okay, 2 truths. I'll take those 2 truths with me. Everything else is up for grabs. And at that time, a friend from Estes Park, who wasn't part of the church, sent me a Science of Mind magazine. I said, okay, this looks like a good place to start. I got Science of Mind magazine. That was back in 1985. And I've gotten Science of Mind magazine ever since. Sometimes I would read them cover to cover. Sometimes I would read them sporadically, little bits and pieces, and sometimes I never opened them. But I continued to get them. I continued to renew that subscription and get those. And I had lots of adventures, and I got to enjoy learning about Buddhism. I started listening to Wayne Dyer and Eckhart Tolle and M. Scott Peck and Barry Neil Kaufman and Gary Kustoff and Pema Chodron. I was a sponge. And there's more. I was a sponge for all of these things. And I had tried to go to some things that were similar to CSL, but nothing really worked. I moved to Hawaii, and I was a wonderful life, and nothing really worked. But I still did Buddhist stuff and all these other things. And so when we moved here to Colorado, first thing I did was I was checking Google Maps for Centers for Spiritual Living. And there was one in Castle Rock, and we went there a couple of times, but for some reason they changed from Sunday morning to Thursday night, and I'm like, I don't want to go to church on Thursday night. And so I found CSL Parker. The first Sunday that we came here, the teens were presenting the program. And it was mind-blowing. The changes that they talked about in their lives, the things that they shared so vulnerably, so openly, Dave and I were like, well, if that's what this community is doing for these teens, we're in. And it has been home ever since. We started signing up for classes to get to know people. Lots of things have come and gone and changed, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. But no matter what ups and what downs, the one thing that remains true is this is my gathering of spirits, my festival of friends. This is my family.
One, two, three, four. Spirit alive in us. Spirit, you're alive in us. You're alive in us right here. Spirit, you're a light in us, shining right through us right here. Spirit, you're the love in us, reaching out with every touch. Spirit, you're the voice in us, rising up beyond the heart. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel it. We feel it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We see it, believe it. It's spirit. Spirit, you're the breath in us, breathing off of us right here. Spirit, you're the grace in us, calming us with every fear. Spirit, you're the peace in us, spreading out across the world. Spirit, you're the power in us, flying like a flag and bird. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel it. We feel it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We see it, believe it. It's spirit. Here they go. This can be out. Give them a hand. Spirit, you're alive in us. You're alive in us right here. Spirit, you're the light in us, shining bright through us right here. Spirit, you're the love in us, loving us with every touch. Spirit, you're the voice in us, rising up beyond the heart. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel it. We feel it. You sing it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel it, believe it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel it, believe it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We feel it, believe it. It's spirit.
I think we all felt that spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. When you started that, I thought, how is she ever going to get all those words in? That fast. It's pretty amazing. So I thought, always looking for what to talk about during the month, and so this month I thought, well, why don't we talk about some lessons from living the science of mind, since we're a Science of Mind, religious science center. And so today I chose a section in this book called God's Will. And like Carolyn, I did grow up in a more traditional Christian church. And so God's will meant something a little bit different to me then than I believe it does today. But what I want to begin with is a little reading from Ernest Holmes, our founder. And I know we've talked before about our use of the word God, and I know that word triggers some people, triggers some things for people. People respond to it in a very different way. I know that I had a time in my life when I would not use the word, and every time somebody did use the word, I would just cringe. But I've come to a different understanding of God today. And what he says on page 136 in here, he says, when we use the word God, we mean the great reality, the infinite unity, the final truth back of all manifest life, the absolute or causeless cause, the one unconditioned, complete, and perfect being, indivisible, changeless, and whole. All of these descriptive terms are synonyms for the word God. The nature of God, then, is not one of limitation or bondage, but one of freedom. Therefore, the scriptures tell us that we have inherited not bondage, but liberty. And so God, as I understand God today, I believe that this energy, this life force that we call God, or I sometimes still call God, so we may call it spirit. A lot of times we do use the word spirit in place of God, especially in science of mind. So spirit, when I think about spirit, I think about life, I think about movement, I think about energy, the spirit of life itself. That is living itself, moving itself, experiencing itself, evolving itself as each of us. That life is moving, it's always evolving. I like this idea that God, or this life force energy, is evolving everything into greater conscious awareness of itself. Greater conscious awareness of love or light or whatever you might associate with that. I believe that we are all evolving as a humanity to awaken more fully and completely to who we truly are. Do you believe that? And what that is, I believe, is love. It's that love and it's unity. I love what Jim Freak, everybody familiar with that philosopher? No, Freak, he's a freak. No, he says that we are evolving into what he calls unividuals. Not individuals, but unividuals, where we know our unity, where we know our oneness. We're evolving into oneness consciousness. And I believe that's true. I like to think that that's true. Even though we might see evidence that may appear to be the contrary of that, what I believe about that is that that stuff is just needing to fall away, needed to be expressed, needed to be allowing us to move more fully and completely into that unividual consciousness. And so I believe that. I fully believe that. And I believe it is always impulsing us, you and me, into a greater expression of who we truly are. Dr. Holmes says, God's will for all creation is self-expression. Since creation is an expression of this indivisible cause, which we call God, nor can it be considered anything else, every constructive desire towards self-expression finds its prototype in the universal need for self-expression. Self-expression, self-realization, self-actualization. I talked about that last week for those of you who are here and may have listened to the recording about the caterpillar who has that knowing, that inner urge, that divine urge to express itself as the butterfly. And that inner urge continues to drive and not drive, but inspire. I like that word better. That inner desire, that nature of the divine within the caterpillar is constantly inspiring to take the next step and the next step and the next step, to do what it needs to do to realize, to be self-realized, self-actualized, self-expressed. And I don't know how conscious a caterpillar is. I have no idea. But I do know that you and I are conscious enough, hopefully, to choose. We all get to choose whether we're going to follow that inner inspiration, that divine urge, or we're going to not follow it. Because what I know about that, I believe that God's will, or I want to say the will of the one, the will of the universe, the will of that which is that life force energy living itself in us and through us and as us, is always moving us toward that. But I do believe that sometimes we pay more attention to the will of the world than we do the will of the one. Because the will of the world says, at least my experience has been, it says, well, you're not that. Who do you think you are? You can't. You shouldn't. You must. You mustn't. You mustn't do that. What do you think you are? What are you thinking? I love this idea that life force energy is always moving us to our highest and greatest good. But the mind gets so involved in, well, I need this and I want that, and what if I don't do that, and what if I do that, what's going to happen? Are you crazy to think you're going to do that? Have you lost your mind? And I want to say, I hope so. I hope so. I hope I've lost that mind of separation. Because that is the mind that is the cause of all of our pain and all of our worry and fear. Dr. Holmes says, through every subtlety, by every illusion, by the logic of the human experience, we are led from reality into our dream of separation. It takes resolute thought, a poised mind, and a confident spirit to overcome this. Freedom from bondage is a thing that we must inwardly perceive. This perception is the greatest of all perceptions. It is that mind that thinks it's separate. My mind says to me sometimes, well, what if you do that? What are you going to be sacrificing? What will you sacrifice if you do what you feel like you're being led to do, guided to do? In my mind, the world would say, yeah, what are you sacrificing? Your security, your safety, your money, your na. And what I hear when I ask, when I actually went into meditation about that this week, what am I sacrificing if I'm following Spirit? And Spirit said to me, it's only a sacrifice when you believe that you are giving something over to a God of your own making. It's only a sacrifice when you're giving something to a God of your own making and you're afraid to let it go. Make sense? Other than that, it's not a sacrifice. It's a journey toward revelation of that Spirit within us. I started out a month or so ago, and I used that quote from Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith, who said, pain pushes until vision pulls. Familiar with that? And until recently, I thought, I was thinking of that as an either or. When pain pushes, then you give up the pain and you then allow the vision to pull you. As I thought about that more this week, I realized it's not an either or, it's a both and. It's always a both and. because it's the pain that results from us not following the vision, not following that inner urge, that divine urge to express and to be who we are here to be, what we're here to do, that finally, when we pay attention to that, then we can be aware, oh, I haven't been following the vision. This pain is showing up for me because I haven't been following the vision. And how good are we as human beings, I will speak for myself, of numbing the pain. We do it with drugs. We do it with alcohol. We do it with shopping. We do it with television. I think some people do it with religion. We numb that pain because we're afraid to follow that guidance. And it creates pain for us, doesn't it? So I believe it's both and. It's that you honor the pain, recognize the pain, realize that pain that is causing that the idea of separation from the truth of us. And then are we willing to just get out of our comfort zone? Move out and say, okay, yes, 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 yes to life. And that's not always easy, is it? Not always easy. To follow that inner urge to express and to be that which we are here to be. And sometimes the world says, no, you cannot do that. So what are we paying attention to? I know in my life, when I first received a call, I believe ministry is a call. People say that all the time. Ministry is not a profession, it's a call. And in my life, I believe I received that call when I was 14 years old. When I was in a Baptist youth camp, sitting around a campfire, singing, I don't know, the Old Rugged Cross or one of those, I Surrender All, or Just As I Am, or one of those songs that some of you might be familiar with. And I got this message. It wasn't like a voice out of heaven that said, you're going to be a minister. It was that inner knowing that said, you're going to be a minister. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll be a music minister one day in a Baptist church. Maybe that's what I'm called to do. Because I love music. I love to sing, right? Well, fast forward a little bit, and when I began to realize, not too long after that, I began to accept my own sexuality, and I realized, well, that ain't never going to happen. Not in a Baptist church. Not going to happen. So I kind of gave up. Well, I left the church. I gave up that idea of being a minister. But that call, that urge, that divine urge is always there. It's always there. And so it's many years later, when I finally, started reading Marianne Williamson and Shirley MacLaine out on a limb and reading those kinds of books, I've realized, there's more to spirituality than the Baptist church. And so I began my own quest. Actually, through 12-step program, I began my quest for God. What is a God of my understanding? What is a God I can turn my will and my life over to? What is this God? And so I found a new thought. A God of love, a God of compassion. We didn't talk about hell. We talked about hell and heaven as being states of consciousness, not places you go after you die, right? And I can choose it now, and we can choose it now. And so that has been part of my journey for these past years as being a minister. I was a minister called to a unity ministry in Arlington, Texas. And again, it was one of those things that said, the voice said, this makes no sense. Why would you do this? Why would you give up this career? Why would you give up the money that you're making in order to do this? And my mind was going, well, I don't know. I just don't know. But I know I have to do it, right? I know I have to do it because that's what I'm being called to do. And so I did that, and then I came to Unity here and was there for 8 years. And then the voice said, well, maybe you want to try something else. So I did. I have. Been doing insurance now for 3.5 years. Again. But I know that call is always moving us, isn't it? To something. I know the practitioners here have felt that call, and they have answered the call, and they have stood up, and they have learned, and they have grown, and they have expanded their consciousness in order to be practitioners. Some of them, and it's a ministry for them. So I want to invite you all, those of you who are practitioners, I want to invite you to stand now so that everybody can see, and come up here so they can see you and your commitment and what you have done. And we are so blessed to have these beautiful people who are committed to that ministry as practitioners. And so thank you all. And this is only a handful of the people who are practitioners here at this beautiful center. And so I want to share with you this morning that I have been feeling that call to go back into full-time ministry. It's been in my heart, it's been in my mind, it's been urging me. That Spirit is saying, this is your path, this is your path, this is your path. Insurance is not your path. Insurance is not your joy. Insurance is not where you are supposed to be. And so I'm sharing with you this morning that I have been called back into full-time ministry. Thank you. And it is in Texas. We are going to be moving to Austin, Texas, Jay and I. And I'm going to be the full-time minister at Unity Church of the Hills in Austin, beginning in October. Oh gosh, I wasn't going to do this. I want you to know I love you. And it wasn't like, oh yeah, I've got it. It was like, yes, this is my call, this is my call, this is my call, and the voice says, no, you can't leave this community. You can't leave this group of people that you love, that you care about. Have you lost your mind? And there's part of me that feels that connection with each one of you, and I love you, and I appreciate you, and I've loved being here the last 2.5 years. You have blessed me in so many ways. And I know that this is where I'm supposed to be now. With everything that's going on in the world, my heart is just, I can't be spending my life energy doing something that is not in my heart and not in ministry. Full time. So I think first Sunday in September will be my last Sunday with you all here. And my first Sunday in Austin will be October 5th. So it's not the end. And I want you to know your practitioners are here to support you, to love you. And this community is strong. This is a strong community. The consciousness here is so high and so vibrant. I know that I'm not the source of that. You all are. And you will thrive. I hold that with you and for you, and know that I will still be with you. It's not the end, and I love you, and it's interesting, we talk about in NBC, mourn and celebrate. Can you mourn and celebrate at the same time? And I believe, yes, you can hold that. The mourning that I will miss you and love you, and it's hard for me to say that, to leave, and celebrate that I'm being called to do. I'm stepping up and saying yes to a call that's in my heart. So, know that I love you. I can't say that enough. And I'll be here. And I'll be here if you have questions. And it's just to know. Did you want to say something, Jeanette, now or later? Or? Okay. All right.
Well, as I look out and see your beautiful faces, I can feel your hearts. I can feel your hearts right now. And I just ask you to just honor that place where you are right now and to feel into what you're feeling right now. And at the same time, we just know and love our beloved Reverend David, and we honor his commitment to ministry and honor that path that he has been chosen to follow, that he's listened to. We also know that we are a community that is our vision is a world awakened to love. And that's what we embrace Reverend David with. Our love, our support, and our love for one another, and our support for each and every one of us. We are strong. We are strong as a community. We're a community that's centered in a place of love. And that's where we stand strong. And we just embrace our Reverend David with that love and support. And please know that our board has met and continues to meet as we formulate a plan to move forward. And Reverend David is helping us with that plan also. And it's a plan that's something that to support all of us. And just please know that if you have any questions, I'd like our board members to stand. Robert Duvall, Jennifer Drybread, Dave Richardson, Joe Albers, and our members who are not here today. Will Shirley is probably with the kids, and Pam Eichenberger. We're here to answer any questions that you may have, or at least that we're able to answer at this point. And if you need prayer, please see our practitioners. They're here to support you. Just know that we are a community that is supported, loved, and we will continue in that manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette. And thank you for your love and support. And thank you all for your love and support. Thank you. And as a community, it's not just the board, it's not just the practitioners, it's everybody coming together to support each other in this time of transition. I know you've been here before, and I know it's not always easy, and sometimes it's very painful. But I trust and know as we open to that awareness that there is that which is moving in this community. It's not just in me. The call is not just in me, it's in all of you. To be everything that you are here to be and do, individually and collectively. And I see that moving, I see that growing, I see that expanding for each and every one of you and for this community. And so I hold that with you. I support you in that, and I just know that as you think about this idea of God's will or the will of the one, that it's a choice for us to align to that, to do what is necessary to bring that forth into demonstration and manifestation, and to shine that light, to be that light in the world, however we are called to be that light. So I trust and know that you, yes, whatever you're feeling right now, allow it. Just be present with that. And then recognize, as I said earlier, the pain pushes, the vision pulls. It's a both and. What is pulling me now? And so being in alignment with that. So take a moment, take a breath, breathe into right where you are. What your experience is right here, right now, in this moment. As you open yourself up to whatever is moving in you, the thoughts, the emotions, whatever it is, know it's energy that is moving, it's energy that is revealing, it is energy that is informing. And as you allow that to be, as you allow everything to be just as it is, right here, right now, be in this now moment, and know that in the midst of all of whatever is happening within you, in this community, in you, in the world, that there is that divine light, that love, that energy, that power that is moving, evolving itself, revealing itself, and evolving all of us into a greater awareness and consciousness of ourselves as that conscious love, to be expressed, to be lived, to be experienced. And we hold that vision. And we are grateful. And take a breath. Ground yourself right here, right now, in this moment. And together, let us proclaim. And so it is.
We let the love. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. Let's sing that again to really feel it. We let the love. We let
So it is. Thank you, thank you. So now as our ushers prepare to receive our offering, I invite you to take what you're going to share today. If you're sharing, hold that in your heart, hold that in your hands. If you shared electronically or any other way, just allow your light, your love to infuse that gift and offering. So we open ourselves up to know that we are always in the flow of that divine life. In all the ways it expresses in us, through us, as us, we are grateful. We know that we are blessed as we receive. We are blessed in the giving. And we know that we are a blessing. And together let us proclaim. And so it is.
So I chose this song before I knew this was happening today. But it's all about change is going to our greater yet to be for our beloved Reverend David and for us, yes? So and we sang about spirit today. We felt it in our hearts, so here we go. It's a Gloria Stefan song. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And as you're staying on your feet and as you allow that energy to move in you, through you, as you, knowing that you are a blessing, and we celebrate these gifts and offerings received this morning, we know that they are given as expressions of love. They are received in love and they are shared in love. And we are so grateful, so blessed. And together let us proclaim, and so it is. So again, I know that there's lots of things going on right now for many different people. I honor that. I hold you in my heart. If there's anything I can do to support you, any questions you might have, please know that I'm here to answer them. And please know that I love you, I love you, I love you, and I hold you in that prayer and that love. And know that your board is here, the practitioners are here. Please reach out to them as well if you need some support. So let us go forward today and know that you are the will of God in manifestation. You are the will of the one. And your opportunity, my opportunity in every moment, is to connect with that, to listen to that, to follow that, and to reveal that in and through and as our very lives. And so claim that. There's a affirmation that one of my first Unity teachers taught me. She said, I will to will the will of God that I am. I will to will the will of God that I am. Let's say that together. I will to will the will of God that I am. And so it is.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new. Now it's your turn. Here we go.
Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy.